see in this example, she's the teacher who helped me. So in this case, the relative pronoun we use is who. So she is the teacher. Which teacher are you talking about? The teacher who helped me. So who answers the questions? Who or answers which one? This is the bike that I want to buy. What bike are you talking about? This is the bike that I want to buy. So these are two examples in which we use who and that as relative pronouns. Let's see with another example. And you have to understand that relative clauses give more information about nouns. So this is the relative clause, who helped me. It gives us more information about the teacher. You can't say just she is the teacher and stop talking. If you say so, you have to explain what teacher you're talking about. The second is, this is the bike. Which bike? The bike that I want to buy. So both who helped me and that I want to buy give us more information about the nouns before, like the teacher and the bike. Let's start with the relative pronoun who. If we use who if we are referring to a person. So remember, who refers to people only. You can't say the bike who, but you can say Ahmed or the teacher or the engineer or the man or the woman who. So who should be used to refer to a person, like we can see in this example. My friend, who is always late, is going to meet us there. Or in the example, I want to find the man who lent me his phone. As you can see, my friend who and the man who, both my friend and the man are people. We use who to refer to people, and then we can add the information. The other example of relative pronoun is which. If we use which if we are referring to an animal or a thing, which means it is not a human being. You can't use which with a man or a woman. You use which only with a thing or animal or anything that is not human. For example, houses near the beach, which often have great views, are very popular. I repeat, houses near the beach. Which houses you're talking about? Not all the houses that are near the beach, but I'm specifying which often have great views or adding extra information. In this example, it's a non-defining clause, are very popular. Or you can see, for example, the book which I gave you yesterday, the pencil which you had earlier. Okay, so in this example, the clause is which often have great views, which refers to these houses. The other example is whose. You have to pay attention to differentiate between who and whose. We use whose if we are referring to a person or a thing in possession of something. For example, you want to refer to a man or woman not by something they do, but by something they have. Let's read this example. Mrs. Bishop or Miss Bishop is the teacher whose classroom was flooded. So you can see whose classroom. Which classroom? The classroom that belongs to the teacher. Classroom belongs to the teacher. You can see the teacher who, because earlier we said we use who to refer to people. But in this case, the teacher is also a person. But we are referring to the teacher using something that she or he possesses. So the teacher, the classroom of the teacher. So we say the teacher whose classroom was flooded. In the second example, Joe, whose daughter recently moved overseas, is coming for dinner. So we are making reference to Joe. If someone asks you, who's Joe? Joe whose daughter, who has a daughter that recently moved to somewhere. Another example which is famous, the girl whose eyes are green. So you are making reference to the girl, not using something that she does, but something that she has. She has green eyes, so you say the girl whose eyes are green, the teacher whose car is red, the woman whose son studies with me. Okay? So this is the example of whose. Another relative adverb is where. We use where if we are referring to a place. Remember, where means place. Like in these examples, I need to find the room where I can work. A room is not a person, so you can choose who. It is something, but it is a place. So where we use it with a place. Room is a place where I can work. The second example is where again. My dad showed me the house where he grew up. The house where he grew up. Where in these two cases refers to a place. Like you can see, the room where or the house where. Another adverb is when, which is used to refer to a time. So where, place, when, time. That was a year when we faced many challenges. A year is time, so we use when after year. Summer is a season, it's also a time. When the weather is warm, it is my favorite season. So in these two cases, when is used to refer to a time. Let's recapitulate. Where is place and when is time. I go back. Where, place, and when is time. Refers to time. When, the summer, when. Another example, or the last example of adverbs is why. We use why if we are referring to a reason. What is reason? We say, why did you do this? I did this because of that and that. So the reason, in order to refer to reason, we use why. Like in this example, I can't understand the reason why he decided to move away. So what can't you understand? The reason. The reason why he decided to move away. Or in the second example, the reason why the car crashed is not yet known. So whenever you see why, it refers to reason. Let's do this exercise very quickly. Use the correct relative pronouns or adverbs. The first one, the man visited yesterday is my uncle. The man, you have to ask yourself a question. Is he a place, a person, a time, an object, or someone that possesses something? So the man visited. In this case, what are we going to use? The man who visited, because the man is a person. The second example, that was the moment I realized. That was the moment I realized. The moment here, is it a place? Moment. So it's time. We need to use when. That was the moment when I realized. Who? With people. When? With time. The third example, this is the garden, was destroyed in the storm. You can use the pronoun that interchangeably with which. There is a small difference, but in this case you can use both. This is the garden which or that was destroyed in the storm last year. Example number 5. I met a girl. Parents are from Italy. Now you have to focus on this girl. She is a person, yes, but she doesn't do something. She has something. In this case, it's parents. Look at this one. Visited is a verb. So the man who does something. But in this case, the person here, which is the girl, has parents which are from who are from Italy. So I met the girl, what? Whose parents are from Italy. Exercise, for example, number 5. This is the park. The park is not a time, it's not a person. What is it then? Park, it's a place. And when we use a place, which pronoun or adverb do we use? It's where. So this is the park where we used to play as kids. Park is a place we use where with a place. Example 6, I need to explain the reason. Remember, let's go back to reason. Reason, why? The reason, why? The same thing here. I need to explain the reason why I was late to work. The last example, which is our garden, is full of flowers, is a lovely place to relax. In here, you are using this example as a relative clause which is not defining, which means it's just extra information about the garden. You can use our garden, which is full of flowers, is a lovely place to relax, or you can use our garden in the example where there are a lot of flowers. Okay? Thank you so much for your attention.